Vegan bacon cheeseburger egg rolls. Y'all see what it's giving. Let me show y'all how I did it. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another video, y'all. So let's get into it. We're gonna start off by making our vegan bacon. So I'm using some coconut aminos, some sesame oil, liquid smoke, vegetable stock, nutritional yeast, paprika, and some black pepper. Y'all have seen me make this bacon recipe plenty of times, so of course it's no surprise, but if you need the exact measurements and ingredients, it will be listed down below. But once you get that all mixed together, you want to go ahead and add your soy-free tofu pieces into the mixture, and you want to make sure that they are completely covered front and back. And we're going to set these to the side and let them marinate for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once they're marinated, we're going to go ahead and add them onto a baking sheet, and you can align these however you like. I do like to do this on parchment paper because I find that foil or anything else, it sticks. Okay, the parchment paper allows all of the water to kind of dry out, so it can kind of be like bacon. We're going to pop these in the oven on 400 and bake these until they are crispy. If you read the title, you get 2 recipes in one, child. So for our potatoes, we're going to be using some russet potatoes. I'm going to basically just peel the skin off of these, and we're going to drop them into some ice cold water, and then we're going to cut these into some potato chips, potato rounds. I don't even know what to call it, but this is the gadget that I use, slicer. That's what you want to do, slice them. Okay, so how mine actually works is just I hold the potato at the top and rotate it, and the potato chips, they look like potato chips, but it slices the potato into some thin slices. So this is the slice or shape that we're going for the potato. Once all the potatoes are sliced into a bowl, you want to season them up. I'm using some onion powder, some parsley, and Auntie Tab very good garlic seasoning. I'm also going to add some salt because that is some salt-free seasoning, and give it a nice little mix and mix it very well. Make sure to incorporate this all over the potatoes. Next, in a pot, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of some vegan butter. I'm also going to be adding about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and then a handful of vegan Parmesan cheese. Give that a nice little mix. And we're actually going to pour this on top of the potatoes, okay? You can put your seasoning into the butter. I have done it like that before, and I actually feel like it comes out better that way. But either way, if you mix it very well and you make sure you get all of the seasoning and everything all over the potatoes, they will will still be flavorful and delicious. But you want to make sure to give that a nice little mix. Now you will have some extra little butter down at the bottom, which is great because we're actually going to pour that over the potatoes. Now to put these, or to cook these, I am going to be using a cupcake pan. So I'm basically just going to take some stacks, put it in the cupcake pan, and then stack them up until they get all the way to the top, and then we're going to pour that extra butter over the top. Next, you want to pop these into the oven on 400 until they are crispy at the top. While that is cooking, we're going to go ahead and make our meat substitute. So I'm using 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos, 1 tablespoon of avocado oil, 2 tablespoons of vegan Worcestershire sauce, some nutritional yeast, and a onion Lipton soup pack. Okay, use the whole pack. Okay, we're also going to be adding some onion powder to the mix, and then give that a nice little mix. And then of course we are using some soy-free tofu for our meat substitute. So you want to go ahead and crumble your tofu down. This is going to be our hamburger meat. Now I am using 2 blocks of tofu for this particular recipe. Again, it is linked down below if you need the full measurements and ingredients. We're going to put this onto a baking sheet. Some parchment paper does the best as well for this. And you want to make sure you spread out our ground beef substitute so that it can dry out the water in this. And of course, make it dry like ground beef. You're going to pop this in the oven on 400 until it is crispy. Next, by now our bacon should be done. So I'm going to take the strips of bacon and we're going to put them on a cutting board and chop them into some bacon bits. So as you can see, I'm just taking a knife and I'm just chopping and chopping very, very fine until they become bacon bits. And then we're going to put this into the leftover sauce that we made for this and give it a nice little mix, and then pop them back in the oven for about 5 minutes. Once the potatoes are crispy on the top, you want to go ahead and rotate these. Now you can just do this with a fork. If you take them and they are not sticking together and not rotated, then they are not ready. Put them back in the oven. Okay, but if you can rotate them easily and they're all stuck together, then you're absolutely fine. Once you get them completely rotated, you want to go ahead and pop these back in the oven until they are crispy on the other side. Next, we're going to cut up our veggies that we're going to be adding to our ground beef. So I am using 1 yellow onion, and I'm just going to chop this down into some pieces. I'll also be chopping up some wickle pickles, baby. I have told y'all about these several times, okay? You want to make sure that you're chopping your onion and your wickle pickles down very, very fine, because we're going to caramelize these onions. In a skillet, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vegan butter, and then we're going to add our onions. Okay, like I said, we're going to caramelize these, so you want to cook these on like a medium low and just continue to stir them all around until they are caramelized to your liking. Now, by now, our ground beef substitute should be ready, so we're going to go ahead and add this into the onions. Now, I am going to be adding 1 tablespoon of vegan Worcestershire sauce. Give that a nice little mix. Then we're going to add our bacon, and then we're going to add our pickles. We're going to give that a nice little mix, and once that is mixed completely, we're going to be adding some vegan cheese. Now, I am using Follow Your Heart American cheese. Of course, you can use whatever type of cheese you like. I end up using about 5 slices. I just basically put it on top, added the top to it to let it melt down, and then mix it up very, very well. Now it's time to roll our egg rolls. So I'm taking some vegan egg roll wrappers. I'm putting down another piece of cheese, and then we're going to add our mixture. Make sure to line the edges with some water and roll these. Now you can roll these however you like, child. Listen, I just rolled them to the best of my abilities. I ain't gonna say they was rolled the best, but if you could look up some rolling videos on how to roll egg rolls, then, you know, whatever. What I do is I basically just fold in 2 sides, and then I fold in the bottom and then just roll it towards the top. It works for me. It encloses everything so that it does not fall out. They don't look the prettiest, but hey, it gets the job done. So you can do that however you like. Once they are all rolled up, we're gonna drop them down into some hot avocado oil, and of course let them fry and get golden brown on each side. And then bam, there you go, y'all. I paired mine with some ketchup and mustard. You can make the sauce that they normally make for it, but I just wanted ketchup and mustard. These bust so bad. Comment down below, let me know if you're gonna make them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.